One word can have a lot of meanings. Hollywood is one of those words. The word Hollywood first meant a place. It was geography. It started as a planned community outside of Los Angeles, California, developed by H.J. Whitley, who was a buddy of Teddy Roosevelt, and Harvey Wilcox and his wife Daida. Harvey was a seasoned Kansas real estate developer and a Republican bigwig who came west with his new wife to finish his life in Golden, California. When he first came to Hollywood, Harvey was 51 and his new wife was 21, starting a marital tradition that has continued until the present day. So both Whitley and the Wilcoxes claim to have founded Hollywood. H.J. Whitley liked to be called the father of Hollywood, while Daida Wilcox, especially after her elderly husband's death, claimed the title the mother of Hollywood. It is not known if the mother and father ever got together. Eventually, a place that was supposed to be a bastion of sobriety and genteel country living became known for exactly the opposite. The word Hollywood grew to mean everything about the American motion picture industry. The word was used to mean whatever you thought about the movies and the people who made them. You could say Hollywood loves sequels, or Hollywood is full of perverts, or Hollywood hates America. People would nod in agreement. They still do. The word Hollywood also means an attitude, one not widely admired, such as, Bert has gone Hollywood, he doesn't have time for the little people. For some reason, I actually live in Hollywood, the place. I didn't plan it, but here I am in an apartment near Paramount Pictures and next door to Raleigh Studios, which is said to be the oldest continuously operating motion picture studio in the world. Although now they make streaming shows here, which I guess is the same thing, sorta. It doesn't matter much how the name came to be. Hollywood has always been about making money, or at least the illusion of doing so. Whitley and Wilcox did quite well, but the real truth is that for all the people that flock here, year after year, making money is the one thing that generally doesn't happen to them. The magic spell the movies cast over people all over the world has always fascinated me. And that spell has always gone hand in hand with an irresistible attraction to fame. And beyond that, an obsession some people have to be famous. That obsession doesn't always end well. Sometimes it feels like the desire to be famous is the Achilles heel of the American dream. Way back in 1990, I decided to make a movie about these things. The idea was to take a small 16mm film crew on a road trip, talking to people across America that had a passion for movies, and to end the film in Los Angeles at the 63rd Academy Awards. I planned to add classic film clips to the movie to comment on and collide with the documentary footage we shot. I called the film TINSEL. Unfortunately, it was the classic film clips that undermined the release of the film. The cost of licensing the footage was many times the financial offers we got for the film. I thought the classic movie clips were an essential part of the film, and because of the money it would cost to clear them, the movie was shelved. Years later, the film lab that was storing all the negative and sound went out of business, and all the original film elements were tossed in the local landfill. A long time after that, the only copy of the film was found in an old videotape format that no one uses today. Beyond the big 1990s hair, mullets, and shoulder pads, it showed a Hollywood that was both completely different from today and in some ways oddly similar. What we didn't know back then was that there was a law called fair use that dealt with this very problem. The law was first passed in the 1970s and allowed small amounts of media that was still under copyright to be reused in new works for commentary or criticism. And in those passing years, the fair use law evolved to allow the inclusion of short movie clips in documentary films like this for comment and criticism. That law allowed the film to finally be seen. So I decided to revisit TINSEL, to dust it off and see what this time capsule looked like from the viewpoint of the 21st century. So here, 30 years later, is TINSEL, the lost film about Hollywood.
College, and I went to see Little Big Man. And there's a scene when the troops attack a peaceful Indian village, and you see a soldier take aim at a woman who's running away with a baby on her back. And he shoots, and you see obviously the bullet has gone through both the baby and the mother. You see the blood spurt, and just at that moment the sound went out in the projector. And it was absolutely quiet in this theater at that one moment, and a child, a small child in the movie, in the theater said, "Mommy, they shot the baby." And it was stunning.
Well, when I was 10 years old, I saw Star is Born, and I saw Barbra Streisand up there singing her heart out, and I figured, that's what I want to do. I've always wanted to act, ever since I was 2, and A Star is Born has just inspired me a lot more.
In Bayonne, New Jersey, public school number 3 welcomes Sandra Dee, an emotion-charged moment for the ex-student who went on to Hollywood fame while still in her teens. Sandra and her relatives have a joyous but tearful reunion in the course of the school's special assembly program. Sandra Dee completely captivates her old hometown. Local girl makes good is big news.
Oh, I'd just play, I'd watch TV, and I'd watch other people do characters and stuff, and I'd read books, and when I was older, and I'd say, hey, I want these, these characters to come alive and everything, so that's what I wanted to do.
The story I'm writing should be made into a movie because it shows not only the catastrophic effects a nuclear war would have on a country and the people surrounding it, but it also shows what life would be like afterwards, who would survive and who wouldn't, and the effects it would have on the ionosphere and the ground and the land and the ocean.
It's acting, that's all I've ever wanted to do, and that's all I will ever want to do, and I've become famous, so I can make movies and I can go up there and be on the silver screen.
It's just celluloid. It's just celluloid with some dye on it, and they shoot a light through it, and it's an illusion. It's still pictures. They don't really move. I mean, all this stuff is just amazing to me. I still think about how remarkable it is that you can throw these images on a wall, and people sit there, and you fall into that world, and you take that stuff to heart, and you believe it, and you feel for these things, and you wonder what's going to happen next. And if it's a good movie, when it's over, you want to know more. You want to go back and visit them again.
And I'm letting you in on the ground floor. Oh, Mary. Mary.
Well, I'm here.
Will you tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime? Do you hear? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Now, you listen to me. I don't want any plastics, I don't want any ground floors, and I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do. And you're...
George.
Well, I think that a movie that can make an audience cry, it's a wonderful thing. So you ever hear anybody say, I had a bad cry? They always say, I had a good cry. That release of tension, renewal. It's a psychological bath. And personally, I cry at the no smoking ordinance,
some people say, well, how can there be music in the middle of the ocean or a band in the middle of the desert? And I say, what does it matter? The music comes sweeping in and the performers start to sing and dance, and I just want to be up there and be a part of that, and it just sweeps me away.
It's everything we want, our fantasies, our fears. They're up there. They're right in front of us. We don't like to talk about them. There they are.
Has to have a great protagonist, a great antagonist, and a great story adventure line.
I like movies with, action. Movies, every now and then, you see a truck in it.
I guess when it keeps you, really occupied and you want to keep sitting there and watch it and not want to stop it and go to the bathroom.
I was always more in my young age for love stories. No sad stories, movies. I love to have a love story.
Frogmen. I think I saw that around 12 times when I was around 10 years old. I remember they used to fall off the side of the rafts, and I used to think that was great.
When I was a child, I guess Bambi and all that kind of stuff, but it was all miracle stuff.
But there have been moments where I'll catch a scene, and I'll just go, oh.
A dark theater with 1,000 strangers, something happening up front, and the entire group experiencing the same thing at the same moment.
Everyone has two businesses, their own and showbiz. There's something that's so attractive about show business that everybody wants to be part of it, and of course, everyone is part of it in the sense of being the reacting half of the equation.
Well, I remember one time seeing my father in a movie called The Little Bighorn. He was playing a commander of a U.S. cavalry troop, and at the very beginning of the movie, he gave the famous charge of the cavalry, and yo! And he took about 8 arrows right in the heart.
What?
They dragged him underneath the tree, and he laid there for the entire movie dying while the men came up and talked to him like this. And after about half the film, the people were laughing and jeering at him. It felt pretty bizarre.
So the very act of watching movies makes you have a fantasy about being in them or making them or being around them, which is why the old adage of everybody has two businesses, their own and showbiz, is true. Because participating in going into the darkened theater means a suspension of disbelief and an investment in a fantasy story which just almost as a shadow idea brings you into the idea. I could have made it better. I wouldn't have had the guy go through that door knowing the killer was on the other side. You know, whatever the thing is. And suddenly you're rewriting the script, and then people think, well, these Hollywood people, they don't really know what they're doing. I could do it. I'll write a script.
Well, my story is about a boy, a next-door neighbor that goes to feed a neighbor's cat.
Well, my movie's called Tube Loop. Call it a blend between 9 to 5 and the other side of the mountain.
My movie is kind of a science fiction thriller, and it starts out with the man on the porch saying goodbye to his date.
It's sort of a cross between Beetlejuice and Amityville Horror.
My movie's sort of a Star Trek from hell.
This script is about unembodied spirits that are just searching.
It's kind of a cross between Diner and Fandango.
Love found, love lost, love found again. That holds the whole movie together.
He does this just for his own satisfaction. He likes to see small animals and things squirm. He likes pain.
We intersperse this or interface it with local celebrities.
And together they bring their own lives back into fulfillment.
And it all comes together and it ends up in a ball of flame and crashes through the house out into the crowd that's gathered in the front yard, and the preacher that's holding the Bible goes up in smoke. And it's just, it's a mess.
Has a lot of irony in it, it's a lot of irony.
Well, I'm in a rental business. I rent movies. It's a farming community. And in my point of view, I think they should have more down-to-earth movies, down where the people are a real story.
But you just told me those movies don't rent.
Yeah, but it might not rent, but this is what I'd like. Now, if they want to rent movies, they have violence and guts, and wherever you get an arm cut off every 3 seconds on a movie or somebody's head gets shot off, that's the kind of movies everybody wants to see, and that's what they want to rent.
The video industry does real well here simply because there is no other form of entertainment.
Well, we were employed here in the store. We rent every type of movie from kiddie films to porno.
Well, we're trying to find something that we can all sit down and watch as a family, and hopefully it'll be entertaining, humorous, maybe something or educational even, so that the kids can all learn something by it, or we can enjoy it and not have to spend a whole lot of time about saying, well, you guys better watch this later.
If someone gave you a bunch of money and said make a horror movie, what would it be about?
I would make it about, I don't know, something with whips and chains and eyes and stuff like that.
Do you think the other people would go see it?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
The reason Hollywood became so famous is that by the end of the first decade of the 20th century, almost the entire American motion picture industry was located in this small town. The very first Hollywood movie studio was here, on the northwest corner of Sunset Boulevard and Gower Street. There was a tavern on this corner called the Blondeau Tavern. Now it is a sushi restaurant and a coffee shop, and no one seems to be aware of what was started here. When the residents of Hollywood voted to make the town alcohol-free, the tavern was suddenly out of business. The owners leased the building to producer Al Christie and the Nestor Film Company in October 1911. They had just arrived from New Jersey, where the American film industry had started near the Edison Laboratories. So the first Hollywood studio was born in a bar room and grew from there. Within a few years, the town was packed with film producers, taking advantage of the sunshine and a quirk in California law that helped them avoid paying royalties to the motion picture patent companies back east. The sunshine in California was important because it was what made movies possible. Those early film stocks were extremely slow, which means they required a lot of light to make an image. So the early movie sets had no roof, so the sun could light the scene. That's why early movies are all lit with the same bland overhead light, as if every building in 1916 had a glass roof. So it turns out the corner of Sunset and Gower was like the cradle of civilization in terms of Hollywood movies. Across the street from Nestor is where Universal Pictures started, where this Denny's is now. Columbia Pictures was at the same intersection for many years. Now its old studios are called the Sunset Gower Studios. The Warner Brothers built stages and fancy offices a few blocks away at Van Ness and Sunset, where the Netflix Hollywood offices are today. Fox Studio was here on Western Avenue at Sunset and expanded across the street here, where McDonald's is now. The Walt Disney Studios were here in this little storefront at Vermont and Kingswell, before they moved to Hyperion Avenue, where this grocery store stands today. About 100 years later, Disney owns Fox and Star Wars and Marvel and Pixar and anything else they want to buy that is still for sale. This corner, just west of Vine Street, at the intersection of Lillian Way and Eleanor, may be the most important in Hollywood history in terms of fostering legendary films. Metro Studios first set up shop here in 1915, founded by future supermogul Louis B. Mayer and the forgotten Richard Rowland. Metro would later evolve into the mega studio, MGM. In 1916, after signing with Mutual, Charlie Chaplin set up his studio here at the original Metro lot. He was the highest paid person in the world at the time, making more than $15 million a year in today's money. He made The Floor Walker, The Fireman, The Vagabond, and 9 other shorts here before building his own studio on farmland here on La Brea Avenue. It's now the Jim Henson Studio, and at the gate, Kermit the Frog stands guard, wearing the Little Tramp's clothes and sporting Charlie Chaplin's trademark bowler hat and cane. Back at Chaplin's previous studio, there was a new tenant starting in 1920, Buster Keaton. He did his best work here, 10 features and 9 shorts in only 8 years. Years ago, people put a plaque here honoring Keaton, but it was on the wrong corner. More recently, Keaton fans placed this plaque on the correct corner, also honoring Chaplin. In all my years of walking and driving by this corner, I've never seen anyone looking at it. About a mile to the southeast, RKO and Paramount Pictures both set up separate studios on Melrose. Eventually, Paramount Pictures absorbed the RKO lot when they bought it from Lucille Ball, who had renamed it Desilu Studios. However, no one ever bothered to remove the old RKO Globe, which perched on the top of a stage at the corner of Melrose and Gower. It sits there still today, mystifying tourists. Paramount is the only Hollywood studio that has stayed in place since the early days, on Hollywood's southern boundary, backed up against the Hollywood Cemetery. There you will find the father of Hollywood, H.J. Whitley, interred, along with his rival father of Hollywood, Harvey Wilcox, and the man who leased the Blondeau Tavern all those years ago, Al Christie, as well as most of the people that made Hollywood, Hollywood. Today, the original gate at Paramount Studios still stands. It's called the Bronson Gate, and it looks the same as it did when William Holden walked towards it in Sunset Boulevard in 1950.
Wannabes. Well, my first advice to wannabes would be listen to your mother and become a doctor.
My movie is a story of two friends who meet through telepathic time travel.
It's about a woman who is dressed as a man, goes and saves the town, you know, along the lines of High Noon almost.
I like talking, so it makes sense that I like to write other people talking also.
It's something that will draw them in. It'll bring tears, it'll bring suspense, it'll bring comedy, it'll bring total enthusiasm.
I don't really have a favorite scene since I think it's all very good.
And it'll be one of those movies where you see the TV ads and the people are clapping their hands and raving about it.
It goes from here right to the keyboard. I just think it all out. I can see it as it's happening. So it just comes on out.
There's a greater number of people going to films. However, I don't know if they're going for the right reasons.
Well, all I can say is I would love to be able to go to a party and say that I work in the movie business.
What goes through my mind is that I hope it's going to be a big hit in Hollywood. That's what goes through my mind. I'm going to keep my bank manager happy. Because why do we write? Professional writers, like Dr. Johnson said, we write to make money. Writers are spinners of dreams, and the movies are all about dreams. And we hope that a lot of people will come and see our dream.
If the public demand to see you and have you as, you know, for entertainment, that's equal fame, and there is many of them here in this city. Of course, it's you know, very exciting that people come in and rushing in, and the bodyguard and the security usually try to keep them away, but that's part of the game. You know, they like it, although they do, you know, pretend that they don't. Once you have a fame, money will come, you know, with it. And answering your question, yes, I'd like to have fame first.
To marry someone very famous or very rich?
Famous.
Why is that?
So then you both could be famous and then you both be recognized. And it'd be neat.
Before you lies the most glamorous city on earth, Hollywood, California. A city where men and women skyrocket to fame or plunge to oblivion. What happens amid the glamour of such famous gathering places as the Ambassador Pool, the Trocadero on the Gold Coast of the film city, at the Brown Derby where famous stars meet, or in the gay setting of Santa Anita Park? It's all a part of fantastic Hollywood. Hollywood at playtime. Here behind the walls of Selznick International Studio, we see Hollywood at work. A new Janet Gaynor is in the making.
All who you know. It's who you know and where you go. That is the Hollywood mystique. And I'll tell you what is actually behind the Hollywood mystique is it's the glamour, the fame, it's the, you know, just, it's the fame. I think people just go kind of crazy, quote unquote, over the fame and the glamour.
You see what my life is, Llewellyn. Not a minute to myself. I work, I slave, and what do I get? Money, 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 a ridiculous fortune. Oh, I do hope you'll tell every girl to stay out of pictures, Llewellyn.
My dear, I've been telling him that for years, but the glamour of Hollywood's too strong.
But as I was saying, I would not mind doing a little acting, you know, and you know, any kind of acting, you know, sounds really nice. As long as it's, you know, within reason. I do not do pornography. I will not do porn.
But I think what really pushes everybody is it's some of your self-satisfaction, especially me being an athlete at one time, and you're always used to being in the limelight. And so I still want to stay in that particular limelight, and that's what generates me usually to push for. It's not the money or the glory or anything like that. It's just the self-satisfaction.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Sex sells, you know, sex sells, but I'm not really interested in the sexuality of, you know, sexuality of, you know.
Well, I'm an aspiring young musician. Just like everybody else in this town, I'm aspiring to be a part of the entertainment industry.
He told me that they were doing a movie called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And we got to go down on the field and then go out into the parking lot, stomp on all these tomatoes that were out there. And they did a pan shot, and they got my face in it. So now when I can see myself, I say, hey, that's really neat. You know, I finally got to be in a movie.
My first entree into the business was loading trucks.
Sweeping sets at $35 a day, or less than that even.
Anything at that point. It was like, you know, I couldn't get a job if I had a fistful of hundreds.
Say there, kid. You better take another one, Joe. Look, Bowers, take your hat off. And be waving it. And smile. Give us a big smile. One of those, hello, California, I'm tickled to death to be here. Can't tell. You might like it.
It's not as it appears. It's a city like any other city. There are people out there that'll take your eye out and eat it for an olive if they had an opportunity.
I don't know. I don't think there is a real Hollywood anymore, except in the minds of a lot of agents.
This is a town in which a 6-point earthquake can hit and everybody goes right back to work like nothing happened. This is Los Angeles. And that, by the way, is why LA is so weird, because the earth moves here on a regular basis. And there's nothing solid to base your life on. There is no solid ground in Los Angeles.
You can't tell. You never know who's who, okay? You never know who's who, and the interesting part about it is, you know, some people are real and some people are, you know, fake, two-faced, and I'm real.
I've never taken orders from anyone. As long as I live, I'll never take orders from anyone. I'm young and strong and nothing can touch me.
You never know when the person who was sitting next to you who's out of work today will be the studio executive of tomorrow. That's how fickle this wonderful business is. In the mornings, of course, for breakfast, we're in one of the best places. The Bellage Hotel has a pretty hot little spot down in their coffee shop. You can see the wheeler dealers of Paramount usually down in the Bellage Hotel. And then if you hop a couple of blocks away to Hugo's on Santa Monica Boulevard, you usually see half the people out of work, half the people in work, the people out of work trying to eye the people in work, you know, and walking past their tables and trying to get in between some conversations, trying to hear who's doing what. When the sun starts setting here, we have the Le Domes, the Spagos, the Chinois, the 72 Market Street, the West Beach Cafe. First of all, you have to know the maitre d'. You have to know somebody in order to get a reservation in one of these places to begin with. And then once you're there, you want to get up a lot. You want to be going to the bathroom, you want to be going to the phone. I usually try to get my secretary to call me there once or twice. You know, it's Mr. Sheffer, you know, and then they call you over, and it's like everybody knows you're at least working. At least you've got something going on. And that helps a lot. And then if you're really good and you do it well, you pay the valet guy to come in and mention how your rolls was just hit out in the lot. You know, Mr. Chef with the rolls, would you, you know, and that usually gets some people knowing that you're working. And if you create the illusion that you're working, people for some reason or another give you projects, give you stuff to do.
My name's Paul Hepperts. I came down here from Chicago with my wife Tammy and my son Christopher and Stacy, my daughter Stacy. And we're here at Universal Studios, and we're having a great time here exploring the innards of movie making.
This is a place where you get to see behind the scenes of movies and what special effects are.
I don't know, it's real exciting. It makes you get the bug, you know, to want to get in front of a camera. you see people running around, and there's a lot of people that are famous that you might not know, and you're always looking at people wondering, is that a person? Is that a person?
The change of habit has starred Elvis Presley and Mary Tyler
Elvis
Moore.
Presley.
Mary Tyler Moore did another film in this area called Thoroughly Modern Millie, also starred Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews did another film in this area called
but it's all very,
It looks very, very old.
It is.
It's not really, it's only a facade. That means a fake front.
A
false front.
Like, you know how they draw clouds on a picture and they put it up on the wall? Well, they do that and then it looks real.
Was this what you thought it would be like, how people make movies?
Yeah, sort of. It's pretty sick. The most of the part is just killing. Some have stories to them, and some don't.
Do you think these movies should be made and kids like you should see them?
No.
Here we are in Hollywood, folks. We're going to be taking a tour of the Stars' homes today. We'll be going along Hollywood Boulevard, show you the Walk of Fame, take you up the Sunset Strip, show you where some of the rock stars hang out from, and then we're going to go up to the Pink Beauty, the Beverly Hills Hotel. Maybe we could have tea with Nancy and Ronnie up in Bel Air. We'll bring you back down along Rodale Drive and show you where all the stars shop, and then show you the Hollywood sign up on Motley. We're going to have a good old time today. Here on the right-hand side, where all the stars put their handprints and footprints and autographs, that's the Chinese Theater right there. Y'all heard about Lana Turner getting discovered at Schwab's Pharmacy a long time ago. They tore it down 4 months ago here on the left on the green walkways. That's where Schwab's Pharmacy was. Now, after Lana Turner got discovered there years ago, I stood out there for about 35 years myself here on the Sunset Strip. Looking good. Going down to the Comedy Store where Arsenio Hall does his monologue a lot. Want lunch today for $75 without wine here on the left. Les Dome Restaurant. What are they serving for $75? I have no idea. That's Les Dome. Here on the left-hand side, Nikki Blair's restaurant, the Green Awning. Sylvester Stallone having spaghetti and meatballs at Nikki's last Saturday night. 30 people watching Sylvester Stallone eat. Guy can't even eat anymore. I'm going to show you the Spago restaurant. A lot of stars at Spago's every night. Opens at 5 tonight. No problem getting the bar. 3 weeks reservation for a table for dinner. Next house I'm going to be showing you a lot of controversy around here. About 3 years ago, she moved out, had a big house built on Mulholland Drive. Her ex-husband wouldn't get out of the house for the life of him. Well, they started boarding up the windows and the doors. He finally jumped out at the last minute. You know her as Alexis? Joan Collins. Here on the left-hand side, she passed away 10 months ago. We all love Lucy, didn't we, folks? Lucille Ball's house here on the left. Her husband, Gary Morton's car in the driveway. See, it says Gary M on the license plate there. Lucille Ball. Now, on the day that Lucille Ball passed away, there were about 300 people standing across the street just looking over at Lucy's house. She was a wonderful lady. The rooms you see up on the right with the black shutters, that was Lucille Ball's makeup room. In the afternoon, you'd see Lucy up there fixing her red curls. She used to walk in front of the house a lot and talk to people. We really miss Lucille Ball. Next door to Gregory Peck, this guy isn't friendly at all. You see the razor wire up above the barbed wire. Rod Stewart, folks, rock star. Rod Stewart's house right here on the left-hand side. Now, we were out here about a month ago talking about the house. All of a sudden, Rod Stewart came driving out in his white Ferrari Testarossa. We all smiled and said hello. Hi, Rod, how you doing? He just covered up his face with his hands and rolled down the street. Well, I guess if we were all worth $150 million, we wouldn't have to say hello either, huh? What a bimbo. Rod Stewart. $65 million shopping mall, the Rodeo Collection here on the right-hand side. Remember Nick Nolte running around there looking for his dog in the movie? That's the Rodeo Collection right there. Melanie Griffith coming out the other day, smiling and said hello. Come down the road here on the left-hand side, ladies, the white awning called Bijan Perfume. Gonna have to have an appointment to get into Bijan's today. Now, who's this in the Rolls Royce? Another local drug dealer? Nice car, pal.
You got lots of stuff in here. Oh, Stace, look at this dress. Let's see who wore this dress. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh, can I pick this up? I wonder. Look at this, Paul. How much is it? It's $600, honey.
These are people that we see in the theaters and on television that we get, you know, that people get close to and they want to know better. It's the whole myth, the whole image, the whole feeling of glitz and glamour and all that other stuff that they want to be a part of or at least be close to.
Oh, Joan Collins. Oh, size 4? Joan Collins fits into a size 4? She looks bigger than that, doesn't she?
Mom, look it. There's a person from Moonlighting.
That's right. That's Sybil Shepherd. This is her dress. $800. Look at that. No way would I be able to wear that, huh?
So we have Priscilla Presley, Farrah Fawcett, Mary Hart, Prince. We have a gown that Michelle Pfeiffer wore in the Baker Boys. They just love it. They get to touch it and feel it and take home a piece of clothing or jewelry or shoes, any kind of accessories that we sell here and show it to their friends.
I think it would be neat to buy something and take it home, and you can take a piece of Hollywood home with you.
Do you feel like some of people's fame might, I know it doesn't actually rub off on their clothes.
Yes,
but
it
is that how you
does.
feel?
Oh, yes, it does. It rubs off on the clothes. It sure does. It rubs off on the clothes and it rubs off on the people.
Well, I find a little bit of pride of ownership knowing that you've owned maybe Jack Nicholson's boots or
They've got
anything.
George Michael's boots on. I would love you if you just wear George Michael's boots.
No, thanks.
Yeah, this is Cinema Collectors. We're in Hollywood. We're a movie collector's store. We sell photos, posters, magazines, books, just about anything a movie fan would want.
And I don't understand quite what people do with them all after all these years, but they sure collect them.
And everybody in the movie could be dead, but they're alive. Just that one time you watch it, they're always going to be there, and that's magic.
Well, I guess Marilyn, Bogart, James Bond. I don't know, whoever's new and hot at the moment usually too.
It's almost like it's hard to take Marilyn Monroe as a person anymore because we see her image everywhere.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I just look at them as pictures, I guess.
One of the most famous stars in Hollywood history is dead at 36. Marilyn Monroe was found dead in bed under circumstances that were in tragic contrast to her glamorous career as a comic talent. She never let her personal feelings interfere with her job, and she was the idol of the GIs, the animation of foxhole dreams.
She never died. She never died. I think she just became more famous. You know, I don't think it meant to be for her to live that old, because people remember her for her young, beautiful self. She's like Elvis. You know, Elvis, when he started getting older, he kind of started, you know.
What do you think about getting older?
I'm planning to grow old gracefully. Yes, I am, and it feels good. And you know, so I think I'm gonna die young as well, but not as young as that. Maybe 60, 75, 80.
You know, this area is pretty office-like, and it's the only peaceful place around here.
Do you see a lot of tourists come in here?
All the time.
And what do they do?
Mainly they stop and see Marilyn Monroe. I'm not from here, I'm from Caracas. And down there my name is quite unusual because my name is Natalie. So since I was a little kid, I always have to say, well, you know, Natalie, like Natalie Wood. And they would say, oh, okay, now we know your name. But one day I came down, actually it was the first time I came down to have my lunch here. And I was sitting on one of the benches and I saw this tomb with a lot of flowers. So I just, you know, walked by and stopped to see who that person was buried there. And I was quite surprised to see that it was Natalie Wood. So I said, oh, there you are, I finally meet you.
Look at that. See, Chris, you know who that is? Did you see Ed Begley Jr. on anything else? Oh, here he comes, here he comes. Look at that, he just looks like a normal person.
What's a bell cake?
I don't know, but I'm getting pictures.
Do you remember, you know who Ron Howard was? Richie Cunningham? What's the show? Take pictures. Happy Days? Yeah. I know. Yeah. Wait, I was trying to get them both in the same shot. Oh no, he's standing by a tree. Here he comes. Oh, I got a good one. I got a real good one.
You brought him over.
I can't believe it takes this many people. There's so many people here. I mean, there's people running around and people with lights and the big spotlights and people sitting on the curbs and everything. This is great. This is great. And look at in the neighborhood, nobody's looking out their windows. This is
It's
just
like
normal.
an everyday occurrence over here, you know? It's unbelievable. Like, I'd be out here just hanging around.
Yeah, look at these big lights.
It's
Look
fantastic.
I could spit on Ron Howard right now. He's so close.
Yeah. Only time you ever get to see him back home is when he's on TV.
Now it seems too hard. I thought it'd be really easy, but now it seems too hard.
It's amazing. It's a lot more than it looks on TV, I'll tell you that right now. You can see all the work that's put into it. Time after time it takes to get one scene done right. It's a lot of patience. It's fantastic though. It really is. Just to get this far with everything, it's just see behind the scenes. There's really no words can describe it, really.
A lot of people get paid a lot of money never to grow up. I mean, this can be fun. It can be really hard work, but it really can be fun.
The taste of the glamour is when you're working on a movie and you're on location and the people who are on the outside looking in are curious about what it's all about, and you know that at the end, whatever you're doing, whether it's getting up at 4:30 in the morning and working 16-hour days, is getting up to be in a picture on the screen that millions of people are going to see, and your name's going to be in credits at the end. That's the glamour. A lot of people are going to get to see your name, and you want that. It's just something, I don't know what it is that makes people want it, but I want it. I like it.
I don't care how much mud or shit you stood in, or how miserable you were. You get all cleaned up and you put your suit on or whatever it is, and you go to the premiere and you say, hey, that's my picture up there. And there may be 300 people who are sitting in there saying, hey, that's my picture. Because every person believes it's their picture, and rightfully it is, because everyone, that's a collaborative effort. That movie came about because of everyone, not because of one person. It's a lot of fun, and it's permanent. It's permanent, it's forever.
The world premiere of The Warlord, a new Universal Pictures production that weaves the love story of a Norman knight and a village girl against a background of violence and warfare during the Dark Ages. To come back to the present, have you ever seen a prettier billboard setting?
Tell me what you learned on your trip here to Hollywood about movies. What did you learn?
That they're fake.
You get to see stars and directors who just pass by you and, well, and they look at you like you're a regular person that just fits on a set somewhere along the line.
I don't think it's all as glamorous as it may seem. It seems to be a lot of hard work. I've seen a lot of hustling and a lot of running around, and a lot of things depend on timing and the right light and all the, everything's got to be perfect. And I think that that's just a little too much work, and the glamour's there, but I don't think it's glamour. Everybody has to go home by themselves at night.
One thing I like about this old neighborhood is all the ghosts of old Hollywood. All the spirits of past productions swirling in the air. In the early silent days, they just shot wherever they wanted. No permits were needed. Hollywood was mostly made up by the occasional cottage surrounded by empty lots and dirt streets. It was like a free back lot. Back in 1914, the Fiction Players Film Company from New York bought a farm right here, where Raleigh Studios stands today, and they built a stage. Everyone from Douglas Fairbanks' Zorro to the Adventures of Superman to Gunsmoke to Whatever Happened to Baby Jane was shot here. Now Netflix has rented the whole place to use as their personal Hollywood studio, and I guess as a billboard as well. But this corner here, Melrose and Bronson, has a special meaning for me. I found an old photo in a book showing Mary Pickford and her mother standing on this corner back in 1915. It was just a split second in time. The setting sun casting long shadows behind them as they looked west. Mary and her mother not even aware the photo was being taken. The man on the right in the sunglasses was director Alan Dwan, who must have had one of the longest directing careers in Hollywood history, directing films from 1911 to 1961. At the time of this photo, he was directing Mary Pickford in A Girl of Yesterday. That movie is now lost. No one alive has ever seen it. Pickford was 23 years old and the biggest movie star in the world at that moment. They are all gone now. The trees, the grass, the buildings, the people. "13 years later, Mary Pickford was a central figure in the establishment of the first Academy Awards. The very first awards were held here at this hotel near the Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. She won the Best Actress Award herself the next year for Coquette, her first talkie, still playing a teenager at age 37.
I told you everything. Don't ask me anything.
No. Try and compose yourself.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Suspense.
We're here to watch the Academy Award rehearsals.
To see the stars. They don't come dressed up like they used to. This is my 29th year for coming to take pictures of the stars as they go in. One year Angie Dickinson came here and she talked to us for a real long time, gave a lot of autographs, Mickey Rooney, and I think my biggest thrill in coming here was seeing Laurence Olivier. He didn't stop and give autographs, but he stood, you know, so people could take pictures.
This is Jessica Lange's autograph.
And was it easy to get? Was she nice?
Yeah, she's really nice.
Show me what else you have in the book.
Okay, show them. We got, these are all the people that showed up. We put what time they showed up, what they're wearing, what kind of limo they came in,
And what are the stars for?
their personalities. Over here. 1 star is rude and impolite, they just ignored everybody. 2 stars is they smiled but they still ignored us. 3 stars was polite and some autographs. And 4 stars was I put the ultimate star because they signed anybody they could get.
So who rated 4 stars?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Diana Ross, and Jessica Lange.
Who rated the worst so far?
Michelle Pfeiffer, definitely. She was very rude.
We're in Beverly Hills, California, the capital of the entertainment industry. And right here is CAA, which is an agency that's having a party tonight for Jane Fonda. And I'm here to park cars. We're a very social town. There's parties every night of the week. People say, oh, I know you're busy on Saturday and Friday or Sunday. What do you do Tuesday? I'll do 6 or 7 parties. So every night of the week, and I'm not saying, well, every night of the week. And here, look at this man right here. This is, we go back when I was parking cars. Hi. I'm wonderful. How are you doing? I'm doing real well. The best. I will wrap. That's what this has done for my life. People like him who are celebrities. And that's how nice it's been. That's the entertainment industry has been so good to me, and they're all now my friends. Well, not all, no, but a lot of them.
Well, it's 7:05 on Sunday night. We're at the bleachers for the Oscars. Starting to get a good crowd here now. I've been coming for about 6 years, and just pretty much get out of work for a day.
Well, I'm a photographer. This is my 7th Academy Awards. What kind of has become a tradition for me is we have pictures of the celebrities, and I've been coming in the stands and kind of letting people buy pictures of the different celebrities. People stay out, we all bring food and share blankets and tell jokes and sing along songs, so you know, it's become kind of a group thing.
I come from Italy, and it's the second time coming here for the Academy Awards, and I came here just for a while, just 5 days for the Academy Awards. That's so crazy, you know?
We've been here since about 8 o'clock this morning. We're from Huntington Beach, California. We're native Californians, and this is the first time we've ever done this. And these are my children.
Something crazy like
this. Something crazy like that.
Me too. So who do you want to see the most? What stars?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Tom Cruise, Mel Gibson, Jack Nicholson, and Jack Nicholson.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I came here last year when it was at the Shrine.
I came for the sole purpose of seeing Tom Cruise.
And how was he?
He was cute. He was cute, and everybody knows I love him, and it's a big joke.
Look at the guy, you know, like that. If we could both look like Tom Cruise, hey, right? We'd both be happier. But anyway, no, Tom Cruise, and I have some pictures of New Kids on the Block for the 15 and under age group.
There's a lot of responsibility that goes with being famous, and there's a lot of responsibility that goes with being a human being. And I think the fact that you are being made famous, you're being made famous by the people. They make you famous. Nobody else makes you famous. The people make you famous.
But they have to believe that it's not real completely, that the spotlight may be gone from their aurora later. You know, they're hot at one time, may not be. And they shouldn't really believe in that image that they're gods. You see, that's some stars do. And they run away from us. They think they're bigger than they are. On screen they are, you see, but in real life, they're not.
Hollywood's biggest night of the year, the Academy Award ceremonies at the Pantages Theater. Returning to Hollywood after 10 years' absence, Ingrid Bergman attracts an extra measure of attention among the dazzling roster of luminaries on hand. Janet Leigh and Tony Curtis are others of the hundreds of stars and celebrities present for Hollywood's own accolade to its finest.
It was a little cool last night, but it wasn't too bad. Once you get inside the bag, it wasn't bad. It's just people walking by, you know, bump into you and stuff. They dropped like coolers on my feet because they're hanging off the side. And then the lights, they turn on the lights at 3 in the morning, like spotlights right on you.
I'm from Brazil.
And I'm from Italy.
And what are you doing here at the Academy Awards?
Okay, I want to see Tom Cruise.
That's the only reason you came?
Yeah.
And who do you want to see the most?
Tom Cruise.
Why is that?
Because he's awesome. Yeah. He's a great actor. You should get Best Actor. I'd take him to my prom.
And then what? Well, what would happen when you walk in with him?
I would just go, hi everyone. You know Tom?
We come down here and expect, and we see the actors that go by, but it's really the fans that make the whole thing.
No, I'd really like to talk to him and find out if he is really as wonderful as I think he is, and make sure he's not a real jerk.
Oh, it's getting so excited because you know that all the limousines are going to come rolling through, and then all the actors and actresses get out, and the excitement it's just something, because you know that the chance for them to win the Oscar is such a incredible opportunity.
Everybody was waiting for the stars to come and everything, and it's just real exciting because everybody's all nervous inside and everything, not knowing what's going to happen.
This is the party that really is I don't know, I understand it's tougher to get to this party than it is actually to get to the Oscars. But Mr. Lazar, sometimes known as Swifty Lazar, is an agent, and he's been giving these parties for many years at the Bistro before and now at Spago's, and everybody will be here tonight. I'm all jittery, you know. It's Oscar night, you know, and it's, I'm performing, if I may say. I mean, you know, I'm doing my thing and I'm parking cars and I'm orchestrating all the top celebrities, all the top studio heads, every one of them are here. So I have to make sure that their car is taken care of, that their limousine is brought up to them, and there can't be any mistakes, and it's tough. But that's why I'm here.
It's like a national holiday in Los Angeles, I think. It's kind of like one of those things, everything kind of stops and everybody gets into it, and it's kind of like one of those, I don't know, it's kind of like a community sort of thing. It's close as community as Los Angeles gets.
This is worldwide. This is 1 billion people. This is everybody is involved with Oscars. Movies are all over the world. Mardi Gras is nice for the South, but Oscars is the world, and this is it, and this is the party to be at.
The whole world loves Oscar, and the whole world loves parties. But the Oscar party to be at was at Spago. Let's go! The host of the star-studded affair is literary agent Irving Swifty Lazar. Why do you think this party has become so big?
I think because they get in free.
Okay, just stay on with us.
Oh, I'll always stay on with you dudes.
Okay. Don't use the F word. We have guests here.
You think you've seen it.
Right.
Because, you know, you think you're blitzed out on Oscar, but I mean, I was glued.
I think it's one of the best shows
any
that
still
we've
cameras?
done.
Hi, I'm John Tesh.
And I'm Mary Hart. Comedian Billy Crystal got great reviews for his Oscar hosting chores Monday night. Crystal's jokes were wide-ranging. Few were spared, and some were offended. Actually, it sounds like we're referring to the jokes. Were wide-ranging.
Wide-ranging. Few people were spared.
Yeah, we have to say something.
Few people were spared, and some were even offended. Put in an even.
Her style on stage is sexy and sensual, but offstage, Lola Falana is one star who practices what she preaches, and that's celibacy. Gene Wolfe takes a look at Lola's unconventional lifestyle and her battle with the tabloids. Wow. This footnote, Falana says she's flattered by tabloid reports that Webster star Emmanuel Lewis has a crush on her. But Lola says even if they're true, right now there's no room for a man in her life. By the way, if you don't believe this story, dial 1-900.
Well, you know, I called Dana just 2 days ago and complained about the old one, and now we have this new one. Did you do it, or did Mary do it?
They're going to do their solarization first, and then we'll go. Give you time to eat that down. Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Thanks, Lisa. On our Inside Story tomorrow, actress Margot Hemingway, whose talents have been shown... Well, I'm sorry, what's the Lisa piece we're coming out of?
The piece was just Robin Harris. Here we come. No commotion.
I did it to cause a commotion.
Margot Hemingway bears all for Playboy. That's the Inside Story tomorrow here on Entertainment Tonight.
Coming up next, Lola Falana, the sexy star, sets the record straight. No way is she going to become a nun.
I think when it gets down to it, as much as people want to know about the personal details of stars' lives, they also want the illusion, because they want that man or that woman to have an existence that's totally different from theirs.
And what you'll see here is that we deal with maybe 4 cameramen and a director who's not even in this room. He's in the other room. So you don't think of, I don't anyway, I don't think about what's out there.
5, 4, 3.
But I don't think there's anything to apologize for.
Oscar host Billy Crystal's jokes were heard around the world.
But not everyone laughed. This is Entertainment Tonight for Wednesday, March 28th, 1990.
That's a bye, set for the walk-on.
This is Entertainment
5,
Tonight
4,
for Wednesday, March
3,
28th,
2.
1990.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Tesh.
And I'm Mary Hart.
Oh, Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
Ron.
As opposed
Oh, never mind. Got it.
2, 1.
Up music. Stand by dissolve 1. Stop. Cue.
Leonard Nimoy is fast becoming known
Stand by
more as a
playback.
movie
BT
director than as
13.
an actor
80
for
first.
his 20
Done.
years
13
famous
here. Okay.
However, fans will never forget the role
Radio
that made
roll.
people remember Mr.
Mirage. Track.
A joke.
And then all of a sudden one day I was on the phone with my mother. It was about 2 years after I'd been on the air. And she said, gosh, she said, Raiders of the Lost Ark grossed so much money at the box office. And I knew right then and there that we had the potential to become an institution in the business, because my mother, who is from mid-America, was quoting me box office figures and, you know, even using the lingo.
In taking people inside and behind the scenes, that's what perpetuates the fascination and the myth and the things that people want to think about Hollywood or think about show business, because we show them just enough to make them want to believe, and they do believe.
Screenplays might be the easiest way to break into the film industry. You read quite frequently about people that write their first script and sell it for $500,000. It's a gateway into being in movies and making a lot of money.
What I do is I register material that's been sent in through the mail, and I review the material and try to determine whether it's a screenplay or a teleplay. And a dead giveaway is when you see foul language, so you know it's not for television. You know it's not for CBS or ABC or NBC. You know it's for theatrical release. You see over here, I'd say it's about a good month's worth of material that's coming through the mail. And it comes in from Florida, Washington, California, of course, France, Mexico, all over the world. They'll send in a script and they'll call back 2 days later and say, well, have you sold my script? And we tell them, no, that's not our job. We're just a legal depository of their scripts.
But do you say it nicely?
Oh, I say it as nicely as I can.
But the 50th time you get that question in a day.
Sure. After a while, it just becomes rote, but you still have to have a smile in your voice, because these are, as my father said to me, no matter how unrealistic a person's dreams may seem, it's their dreams and you should respect them.
So you have to pitch to somebody, a producer or a story editor who usually has 50,000 things on his mind. His attention span is, you know, like that of a jackrabbit on angel dust anyway. And you're trying to hold his attention by selling him a story that's better than the other 50 stories he's heard today, and which are all jumbled up in notes on his desk.
I'm hit and miss on pitching because, I mean, one of the reasons I'm a writer and not a performer is I get nervous. And it depends too, because it's a little bit like tennis. If you're pitching to an idiot, you're going to break out. You can see it. They look like they smell something bad when you're telling them the story. They start going like this.
And then you go in and you look at somebody's face and you realize they're not going to get it. But you still have to be enthusiastic and try to sell it. And you kind of just see a lot of times you just kind of see their eyeballs roll back, or they pick up a phone call, or they'll say, like, hold that idea.
You literally get like 2 sentences in, and the guy goes, no, we're not doing that. What else do you got? You know, and you want to leap out the window or something at that point.
The first fellow we pitched it to said, wait, stop right there. Everyone on Earth dies. Who cares? Go on to the next story. We thought, bad idea. Later on that day, we get to that part of the story. He says, that's fabulous. Everyone on Earth dies. How important these people's lives become. Just what a great idea. Go on. Now, the important thing to remember is both of them were probably mistaken. Somewhere in the middle, that was the truth. And it's very easy to get swayed by their title, by the fact that that their shoes cost more than you made last month.
There's a lot of great writers who are nervous wrecks and can't pitch to save their life.
Because most people become writers because they're very shy, quiet, retiring people, and they like to hunch behind their word processors and just type and tell the stories, and they don't like to get out in the limelight. And yet when you sell the story, you've got to, it's a show. You got to put it on. You got to say, and this happens, and the dam breaks.
No other business are business decisions of such massive scale and importance made on, the whims of, if the guy had a bad lunch or he got in a car accident that day, you're out of there. Forget it.
All right, Gillis, you've got 5 minutes. What's your story about?
It's about a baseball player, a rookie shortstop that's batting .347.
Uh-huh.
Poor kid was once mixed up in a holdup, but he's trying to go straight.
Uh-huh.
Except there are a bunch of gamblers that won't let him.
So they tell the poor kid he's got to throw the World Series or else, huh?
More or less, except for the end, I got a gimmick that's real good.
Uh-huh. You got a title?
Base is loaded. There's a 40-page outline.
Call Reader's department. Find out what they have on bases loaded.
They're pretty hot about it over at 20th. Except I think Zanuck's all wet. Can you see Ty Power as the shortstop? You got the best man for it right here in this lot, Alan Ladd. Be a good change of pace for Ladd. And there's another thing. It's pretty simple to shoot. Lots of outdoor stuff. I bet you could make the whole thing for under $1 million.
Excuse me.
We are commercial writers. We enjoy going to the movies. We see probably 3 or 4 movies a week, and we like what's out there, and so we know what's out there, and we write to the marketplace.
But no,
Do you think so?
that sounds like we're writing down. I mean, we're trying to write good stuff. We're trying to write stuff that we think is intelligent and funny, and vaguely sophisticated. Whether it turns out that way is something else, but. We're not writing down to the marketplace. We're not saying, oh, this is going to be commercial. Someone's going to want to buy this. We've never done that.
Right.
We've always said, this would make a great movie. This is a funny premise. This is an interesting character, and you go from there.
I guess I don't consider the marketplace down. I like going to see movies.
Even though most movies are terrible.
Sure, but I still go see them anyway.
Yes.
The reality is that good ideas are a dime a dozen. Great ideas and concepts are hard to come by. And so the currency that we deal with are great concepts, great ideas.
The big idea. I mean, most of our stuff has been pretty high concept, and I think basically, we
But in a good way.
In a very good way.
That can sound like crap if you're not careful.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm a tramp, and who's to blame? My father. A swell start you gave me. Ever since I was 14, what's it been? Nothing but men, dirty, rotten men, and you're lower than any of them. I'll hate you as long as I live.
Well, it's a disease. It's truly an addictive industry, and you really have to love what you're doing to deal with a lot of the rejection and the headaches and the screwing around with money that goes on, the half-truths.
It's too hard to get in the movie business, and as a struggling filmmaker or writer or director or actor, you have no idea if it's going to take 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
It's not bragging to say that my television programs have been seen by more people than ever saw Shakespeare. And it's a really weird thing to think about, certainly while Shakespeare was alive. And I in no way compare myself to Shakespeare, but I've had more power to affect minds than he has had. And that is a really scary thing to think about.
Once when I was a reader, many years ago, for Mike Medavoy, who just became the head of TriStar, has been the head of Orion for years. I was sitting in this cubbyhole, and I had tons of scripts to read. I had just gotten hired, and I was my first job, way behind. And I pulled a script out from the slush pile, and I had these rules, like I'd never read 2 scripts in a row that had yellow covers, and this mounds of this stuff. And I started reading it, and at first it looked like it was going to be an action picture, and then I started reading it, and then it took this other twist, and then I kept reading it and twisted, and it went this way, and it went that way, and it went the other way. And finally I got to the end, and I said, holy crap, I have just read The Great American Screenplay. And I was 23 years old, and I think it was probably the 8th screenplay I'd ever read, but I was convinced it was great. And I went running down the hall to Mike, and I said, Mike, this is The Great American Screenplay. This is the greatest script ever written. And he said, give me 2 pages on it and leave. So I went back and wrote up my little synopsis, and I went running back and go, Mike, this is going to win the Academy Award, Mike. And he read the 2 pages, and he said to me, he looked up, he said, is this as good as you say it is? Because I'm about to call a studio and sell it. And if I send it over there, and I'm embarrassed because it isn't The Great American Screenplay, I'm going to fire your ass right out of this office. How good is it? I went, gulp. It's The Great American Screenplay, Mike. And by the end of the week, it had Redford and Newman, and it was The Sting.
I wrote the first draft of Rambo, and I just did it. I was living on dog food at the time, and I needed a gig, and I wanted to finish a spec script I was writing, and they called me in, and they had this idea about what they should do in the sequel to First Blood, and I said, well, how about if maybe he searches for POWs in Southeast Asia, back in Vietnam? He said, great, let's do it.
It's a mindset that says that this gross, unnatural act of making movies, and it indeed is that. Making a feature film is, you're trying to make nature turn handsprings in reverse order. You're trying to fight against natural forces to get a script rendered onto a screen. And to me, that takes not only skills and talents and experience, but it takes an attitude that really isn't part of a lot of people's makeup. It's kind of like why Super Dave keeps going into a wall every now and then. It's a combination of Evel Knievel and Job.
It's like almost like having an affair. You go in, it's like intense, everything is like, the colors are bright, everything is really happening, it's beautiful, and then you come out, you have this fruition, and then it's over. And you're sad when it's over, but in another way, the intensity that you had doing it, you'll never have again without the film.
I got out of the writing game for a while to become an agent, because I thought, oh, I'd never make it. And unfortunately, I gave it another try. I don't think anybody would trade this business.
Well, there's nothing else to do but to continue trying. And you can do it on any scale you want, but there's no alternative unless you want to give up being that kind of person.
It builds up and builds up, all the plots build up into a conclusion, a big climax, a good ending. And they don't want something that ends on a bad ending, they want something that ends good, like the good guy wins, or like in Rocky, where the good guy wins at the end.
I think people want what I always wanted, which was something, not just escape, because escape only goes so far. You still have to face reality, but there's something that illuminates reality in some way. High Noon, Gary Cooper. How many people have ever been faced with some kind of terrible decision, and they think of Gary Cooper, and it kind of puts starch on their backs, which is not to overvalue movies. I mean, they're just movies, and you still have to make the decisions on your own, but there's something about it. You can think back and say, yeah, I was Gary Cooper, or God, I should have been Gary Cooper.
Dreams will come true for me and you, somewhere in dreamland tonight. I'll see you somewhere in dreamland, somewhere in dreamland tonight. Dreams will come true for me and you, somewhere in dreamland tonight.
Why do you think people like movies so much?
Because there's nothing else to do.
So the question is, all these years later, what has changed? In 1990, no one had mobile phones, much less powerful networked mini-computers in their pockets. There were no social networks, no instant messaging. Today, narcissism and the cult of celebrity are the twin testicles of the apocalypse. They taint every bit of media that flows into our eyes from the multiple screens we feast on daily. They dominate modern society like the medieval church dominated the Dark Ages. Today it seems everyone is a narcissist, and everyone is a celebrity, or they can be in some small way. Today your average 12-year-old has more posed photographs taken of them and broadcast to the world in a year than Marilyn Monroe did in her lifetime. More by multiples. It is estimated that by the end of the second decade of the 21st century, more than 1.5 trillion photographs will be made each year. That's 125 billion photos a month, and a very large portion of those photos are of the photographer's favorite subject, themselves. If this is the second dark age, then celebrities are the saints and royalty merged together, and every average Joe is just a viral hit away from joining that club. Back in 1990, there were clearly two classes of humans, the celebrities and the rest of us sitting in the stands, hoping to catch a glimpse. There was no question of who was famous and who wasn't. And when a regular person saw a celebrity god in the flesh, it was something of a miracle.
'Cause there's nothing else to do but to continue trying. And you can do it on any scale you want, but there's still something about it. You can think back and say, yeah, I was Gary Cooper, or God, I should have been Gary Cooper.
And when a regular person saw a celebrity god in the flesh, it was something of a miracle. Today, we know when some celebrities have a good bowel movement because we get pinged with their update on Twitter. In 1990, HBO and Showtime ruled the premium cable business. The other media options were going to a movie theater, renting a video cassette, or watching broadcast TV. In this age, we are flooded with what seems to be an infinite amount of media options and platforms, from high-budget corporate media franchises to no-budget content made on mobile phones. But what about the power of movies themselves? I don't think anyone has tried to measure it, but the movies still appear to deeply affect people. Movies give us a shorthand language and also form the fabric of our worldview. Many people opt to watch the same movie over and over again, digging into it deeper and deeper, an option first made available to us since the video cassette, but infinitely easier in our digital world. We still want to share movies that are important to us with people that matter to us. And although the experience of seeing movies in a dark room with hundreds of strangers feels under attack, it seems unlikely to ever go away. But then again, this art form is still young, and anything can happen.
I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. Everything is rosy now. Looking at the world and everything that passes seems of rosy hue somehow. Why do I feel so spry? Don't wink your eye. Needn't guess, I'll confess, certain someone just said yes. In a bungalow all covered with roses, I will settle down, I vow, because I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, and everything is rosy now. I've said goodbye to Mr. Sorrow. How do you do, Mr. Joy? No need to worry about tomorrow. Look at me, and you'll see a soul as happy as can be, because I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. Everything is rosy now. Looking at the world and everything that passes seems of rosy hue somehow. Why do I feel so spry? Don't wink your eye.